Hello fellow stalkers, thanks for stopping by. Today I wanted to do something a little different. I haven't seen anyone really do this, and I have a lot of wonderful resources for this. I wanted to look at every Stalker map and compare them to Stalker 2's map. So I have two websites here, stalkermap.online and on mapgenie.io. There's a map of the zone, both free for anyone to use and to look at. So today we'll be looking at those and we'll compare the locations. Now, we won't be talking about the new locations in Stalker 2 like the Lesser Zone. We'll only talk about locations that were in the original trilogy. So first off, let's start with Shadow of Chernobyl. Now, the Cordon has always kind of remained the same in all three games. Here's the Cordon in Clear Sky. Here is the Cordon in Shadow of Chernobyl, and in Heart of Chernobyl, the Cordon. Now I'm going to show you this image, which I'm pretty sure is in the game files. I don't know where they got this from, but here's the one that you'll actually see when you play the game. It mostly looks the exact same. One thing I noticed is it kind of is using, I haven't played the game myself, so I don't know this for myself, but there's these little barriers on the sides, and from what I remember, this was in the alphas of, I know if you play Lost Alpha, you will recognize these, because the Cordon, back when it was just called Escape, it had these. So that's another cool thing to note. One thing that I kind of think is kind of weird is this. Just, I don't know what this building is. Let's actually turn on locations to see what it is. I think it's just, yep, it's just called Sphere. Now, I feel like it's kind of odd that it's just kind of, normally it would be right here. I feel like it's just kind of odd that it's just thrown over there. Back when I saw the trailers and I saw this thing, I'd imagine it'd be more in the center of the zone, maybe around the Duga radar, but nope, it's apparently just near the Cordon. Up next, we're going to look at the garbage. Now, the garbage has remained the same in all two games in the trilogy. The only thing is the gradient. I've noticed Shadow of Chernobyl's maps on the PDAs, they make it very obvious that they were all developed during very separate times. So the garbage has a more greener gradient, while Clear Skies is very much obviously refined to fit with the map. You can see this about a lot of maps. Now, if we look at Heart of Chernobyl, I don't honestly think we'll be using this map. It's a bit too hard to see. But here, you can see the garbage. Now, it's not like Shadow of Chernobyl's or Clear Skies. Instead, you come through here. This is where you have that little vehicle graveyard. And as we can see, there's more helicopters. I'm pretty sure there's only like one or two. Or, I think just one in the original garbage. Now there are the wards outpost, there's the depot, and here we have the Agroprom. Now I honestly do like this change of the distance for the Agroprom and the depot, because one thing I noticed about the actual depot is its train just kind of for some reason leads over to the Agroprom, even though that's like no distance at all. You could make a claim that it kind of leads up to Yantar somewhere. Maybe it's this railway, or maybe it's one of. You could make any argument, but I think it's just a really weird thing. Now I know slag heap. I still don't really know what slag heap is. Here we have the flea market, which was in all the games. So let's look at it in Shadow of Chernobyl. There it is. In Clear Sky, you could see it before it was destroyed. Here it is. It pretty much looks the same. I think this is Slag Heap. I haven't played the game yet. This is that big structure where you could see the CNPP from far away. I guess we can move to the Agroprom, since we were talking about that earlier. It's a pretty good way to segue into it. From what I remember, the Agroprom was actually the first ever map developed for Stalker. There was those Aztec builds in Oblivion Lost, though the actual first Stalker map was Agroprom, and it was originally just a multiplayer map. And I know that for myself. I've had several hours where I've played on the Agroprom map, and since I'm in America, there's only one person on a server, since it's all the way on the other side of the world. So I've had a lot of experience with this map. Clear Sky, it's pretty much the exact same. The only difference I know is that there are more anomalies here. There's more stuff over here. There's anomalies up here. Some over here. And there are, there's a weird formation over here. It's like a gravitational formation. Let me see if... I don't think... Yeah, it doesn't really show on this map, like, call it Pripyat's area anomalies. Let's go to the Dark Valley. Clear Sky has this weird... I honestly don't know what this is, but it's these weird formations in the ground. From what I remember, Shadow of Chernobyl might have had that. So yeah, we could kind of see it here. A bit here too. These make it very obvious that the Dark Valley map was very rushed when it came to making this PDA map, because when you look at any other thing that has water, you can see it's rendered, but the water was just rendered as its probably low poly texture, or just its original texture. It's like in Half-Life 2, where you have that swamp texture that you can just loop over and over again from far away. It looks similar. Let's look at it in Stalker 2. Now, we have it's actually now known as the plant boiler station and the factory plant. I don't remember the full lore of the Dark Valley's factory. I know that in Oblivion Lost, it was originally just a construction site. Basically, there was 2 construction sites. There's also the factory. It's remained the same. And here's a little farm with a village next to it. Linka, I think. Linka. I sorry for my pronunciation. I do not know Ukrainian very well. Boiler plant, electric field. Garbage is very close to it. And yeah, slag heap. Doesn't really lead to anything else. There's the commissary. I'm pretty sure some bandits live up there. I think that's their base. Or I think it's this one bandit's base that he has a really powerful shotgun. I don't remember. Now, let's look at Rostok. So it's right above. Rostok is pretty interesting because now, for the first time, we're able to seamlessly travel to the wild territory. So, that's a big plus for the map. But we can actually see the entrance of Rostok is right here. Now, in the other games, we couldn't... It kind of just came out of nowhere. I know that Stalker Anomaly, when they added the... What's it called? The truck cemetery, they kind of like made a big road. That kind of made it make more sense. But we can see that this is the entrance to the Rostok factory. Spoiler alert, it's taken over by Freedom in Stalker 2. I don't know about the wild territory. I'm pretty sure it doesn't really have... I haven't seen anything from people playing it. I think it's just the same, where it's all just taken over by Freedom, because from what I remember, Freedom and Mercenaries don't really have much of a problem with each other. We'll touch on this later. It's actually really interesting. The Volkov AA complex. Let's actually look at... Quickly go to Call Pripyat. The Volkov AA complex, so Volkov anti-air complex, it originally looked like this, which is very interesting, but in Stalker 2, it's in Rostok's region, which is really odd, but I'm all for the change. It doesn't really make sense to me, but it's whatever, and they kind of seem to gotten rid of the nice, like, patterns that was part of it. I guess you could just make an argument that's overgrown and, you know, it has to be hidden, but I don't know, I just kind of miss that. And from what I've seen from gameplay, the complex is way larger. There's a bureau in there that you actually have to worry about. Now, this is a perfect segue. Right next to Rostok is Yantar. So now we see Yantar was actually just a production complex. I think there's more lore that has to do with the lake, but we can actually see it's a production complex. Now, I'm doing a course that has to do with metallurgy, so I could assume it probably has to do something. It has to do with something related to metal production, as Rostok was that. Especially in Oblivion Lost, it was just known as the Great Metal Factory at the time. Now, Sakharov's bunkers there, I'm pretty sure you can access it. Now, let's look at it in Shadow of Chernobyl. Now, I'm pretty sure Yantar was not really finished. I'm pretty sure in Oblivion Lost and all the other versions of the game, Yantar was just either Lake Yantar, it was like a weird, like, scientific station with like a bunch of, like, it was a drained lake. you can kind of still get that. You know, it still kind of looks like a lake was drained for this, and there's like a little the backwater anomaly behind it too. But you can kind of tell this map was kind of rushed. Now you can actually see in clear sky, the map was kind of finished. It was more polished, though. You still can't really access any of these areas, and even if you do go out of the map, which I have before, none of these areas are here. They're just for the PDA map. You could also kind of tell they kind of copy and pasted this little spot right here and just put it up here, which is honestly really smart. I honestly would have thought of that, and probably saved them like a ton of resources. So that's GSC using their brain, which is honestly really cool. Now let's look at it in Stalker 2. Now there's this huge chasm. My guess it has to do with the S.T.A.L.K.E.R anomaly, which is all the way over here. I'm pretty sure there's a few more on the map, but I have a feeling the chasm has something to do with it. Now the S.T.A.L.K.E.R anomaly was this weird formation all over the map in Call of Pripyat. Had to do with either an experiment with the ecologist or the Gauss rifle testing. We don't know though. Now the Dead City. The Dead City, you could see it in all two maps, though I honestly could not guess where it is in Stalker 2. My guess of what it is that it's the commissary. Now don't hold me to that. I haven't explored the map myself, so I honestly can't really determine that. There's a lot of locations that we haven't seen yet, or that I haven't seen yet. That could be like a small town. Maybe when we finally get to explore Limansk, we get to maybe see it, because I can actually show you a bit of it, because we might talk about that in a second. My theory is that the Dead City was just kind of a marketplace for Limansk, maybe for tourists or something, but I digress. Now let's look at Clear Sky. Now I could actually show you something pretty interesting, because I know we haven't really seen anything about Limansk, but we can compare the two. So the map is still, you know, it's very recognizable. There's everything. I'm assuming this area is Limansk Square. We don't actually go through any of this through the cutscene. We just go through assuming a maintenance tunnel, and we somehow end up over here, which I don't understand. Now, on this version of the map, which takes it from the files, we can actually see a bit of Limansk. Now, it's obviously unfinished. If you actually go there, no clip, I have a friend who's told me that it's just a few floating buildings, which it seems to be right here. Seems to be the case. Now, this whole area, I assume, is going to be Limansk, because there's a huge river that goes through it. I think it does go through it as well. Yeah, there's a river that goes through it. So let's actually compare that river. Yeah, the river is pretty much the same. It just goes more slanted than straight. Now, we're actually not able to go here. I'll see if I can get my friend to take some screenshots to show what the area looks like outside of the map. But we don't have anything there. Another cool thing to show is the ventilation complex, which was actually cut, I think, because a lot of the locations were cut. The ventilation complex, which is this place where the oasis is outside of the map. And above that, interestingly enough, is the entirety of the Jupiter plant. I'll skim about the cut locations in a second, but I'll go over them. But here is Jupiter. It's kind of finished, it's just there's a lot of collision issues. It's not fully polished. Maybe things like AI spawning, because you can spawn AIs there and they will be able to navigate, but they probably don't really have any scripts for it. That plus the map is just not finished. It obviously is untextured from this image. There's also several, I'm assuming this is the bitumen anomaly. If you're unsure what that is, the bitumen anomaly is this chasm full of fire anomalies and gravitational anomalies. I assume it has to do with the several earthquakes that you can visibly see within the borders of the map that are caused by emissions. So that means this might be just a gigantic bitumen anomaly, probably right here, just like crazy. But we have no confirmation on that. Plus, Stalker 2's map is full of a lot of like strange chasms. but I don't think it has really anything to do with the missions. It's just an anonymous thing. We're going too much on a side tangent. Let's go straight to the military warehouses now. Here's it in Shadow of Chernobyl. Now let's look at Clear Skies version. Remained mostly the exact same. The only difference is, let's say, like Fang's grave, stuff like that. Now, one thing I also want to point out, the train, we don't actually know where this leads to. There's a train station here. My guess is that it leads somehow underground into the Brain Scorchers train lab, as you can see here. Probably just a way to get around the mountains, but I don't really think it's that effective. But in Stalker 2, we actually see where it goes. So down at the chemical plant region is where we see the army warehouses, and it's actually a location, the military tunnel. And it leads all the way through the chemical tanks, and it goes up around the pallet warehouse, goes all the way up through Tetra elevator. What it's called? Yep. It goes all the way up to the wild territory in Rostok. So that's really good world building. We can actually see the metal is getting distributed to the military warehouses, probably for further production. There's also the Promin CMD factory. Don't know what that means. Now, while we're on military warehouses, we could also notice there is the Bloodsucker Village, Toxic Bog, and this is probably the shack with the crazy stalker. The map is very different, though. You could actually see the route to, let's say, the barrier would have probably been over here. So Malachite checkpoint. This was originally like the Brain Scorcher checkpoint, probably. Maybe, yeah, it's here, Scorcher checkpoint. So the barrier must have been this region, or this whole area. So if you're unsure what the barrier is, the barrier was this whole area. It's really destroyed just because it's filled with like dead bodies. It's like it's basically like trench warfare, just without all the trenches, because of the monolith constantly coming down here and attacking people. So instead of going this way, going to the right to go to the barrier, you go to the left, which honestly doesn't really make sense to me, as I don't see how the Brain Scorcher can completely prevent everyone. I guess it just prevented everyone from reaching, like, I guess the whole theory of it being like a ring is kind of wrong, as you have Yantar. So I guess we could assume the side missions are kind of like, it's probably just like a wall, or just somehow just goes to this whole area. I don't understand it. It doesn't really make sense to me. Maybe a lot of things are going to get retconned when we learn more about this. There's like so much empty land, which we know was Limansk. One thing I do want to call into question is, if these were all the locations, what exactly is the burnt forest? What is all this? Because along with Duga, so where was Duga in these original maps? A lot of people think Limansk was the stand-in for Chernobyl 2 and all that, but I honestly don't believe that. What I like to think is the burnt forest may have been like where the Darkscape was, but it makes no sense. Another cool thing about the burnt forest, there is the Krug Antenna Complex. Now, if you don't know what that is the location of the bloodsucker lair in Pripyat. It looks the exact same. I guess it just, there's like probably more antennas now that I look at it, but we could just see it's got completely relocated. It honestly kind of makes more sense to be here, since the Duga array was an anti-air defense thing, though in the game it has to do with the psi emitter, I think. Spoiler on that, sorry for telling you that. I might just put a disclaimer that the whole video is full of fucking spoilers. Anyways, Pripyat. Now, that's my notification on my phone. Pripyat, I actually talked about this on the subreddit like a long time ago. The map is very unfinished now. It's very obvious, just time constraints and all that. Also, the locations being really... we do have an explanation for all the locations kind of being this way, because in Stalker's development, it was never really like meant to be accurate to its real life counterpart. It was meant to take place across 12 levels. So the idea is that you were going north, and each location was each level. That's why it's difficult to save within. You can't like quick save like crazy in Shadow of Chernobyl. We can't have multiple quick saves like in a lot of your other games. Yeah, that was the whole point of it. Now, this version of Pripyat is very inaccurate. For one, the stadium is not there in real life, so it's the Ferris wheel, bumper cars for some reason over here. A lot of things are very inaccurate. Plus, this whole like the Pripyat Square is very cramped. It's not like that in real life. Also, the Prometheus movie theater is supposed to be like right here, and you can tell it's not. A nice theory people had was the Pripyat paradox, which I honestly was hoping to be true. It would have been really cool the idea of like the zone just somehow cloned a whole location. Like it's the sea consciousness trying to somehow like alter reality. They did kind of explore that a little bit in Stalker 2's cut version, where there was the mirror anomaly, where it was just kind of creating a mirror effect where a fallen helicopter and like a tree was just being mirrored. And it was really cool. I'll see if I can find some concept art and put it up on screen. But we can see Pripyat pretty much the same. It was just, this is probably what Call of Pripyat's version of, I mean Shadow of Chernobyl's version of Pripyat was supposed to look like what its intended look was. Still very, very inaccurate. Now in Call of Pripyat, we could actually see, now this is, I'm going to go over a misconception. We actually have the eastern district of Pripyat, and here's, you have the Prometheus movie theater, you have all that. Now, where you basically were coming from, where S.T.A.L.K.E.R was coming from in Call of Pripyat, was this area. Now, I see this with Anomaly and several other mods. They tend to just put the Pripyat map that you go to in, like, Shadow of Chernobyl over here, when that's not really true. It's over here. This is basically it. And the Ferris wheel, it's not really there in real life. I'm pretty sure that's the Ferris wheel. Because these are based off real Google images from like 2013 or 2008. I don't remember when this game came out. I think it was 2008 or 9. But this is the more accurate version, so you could just use your imagination to think that fights are happening here. And we actually can't see the stadium in this version. Either that or it's just covered up by so much foliage. Now in Stalker 2, we have Pripyat. Now I'm going to turn off all those locations so you can actually see it. The map is still very accurate. One thing I've been noticing while looking at it, it's very cramped. Now, I know it's not really just really cramped or just like, you know, shortened down. It's because, as we can see here, a lot of it was actually cut out of the map. Like, a lot was cut out of Pripyat. So there's the whole northern district of Pripyat that was cut. There are like a few side districts. There's a few that reach over here. And you can actually see the stadium right here. And I've seen people no-clip, and these are like fully finished. Like you could actually like access them when there's collision. One thing I don't really like, a little spoiler alert, is how close the generators are to Pripyat. Now, I always liked the idea of like the original version of the generators, where it was just kind of in like bumfuck nowhere. And it was like shrouded by forest. Even like concept art showed this a lot, but if you actually see it in the game, it's just surrounded by like a lake. And the anomalies are really cool there, but it's just so like, it's just so out there. I know they had to do it to keep continuity with the destroyed generators that are here to kind of keep this power plant as like the center of the zone, but they could have very well just moved it over here, gave Pripyat more space, and then you're fine. But they didn't really choose to do that, which is honestly doesn't really matter. You know, time constraints, they gotta do stuff. Even these buildings, apparently all of this was supposed to be used, even the Chernobyl power plant, but it was all cut just for time constraints. Now we're probably gonna get it in DLC, so I wouldn't dwell on it too much. Let's go past Pripyat. Let's look at the CNPP. We actually can't really look at it. Clear skies as the top layer, very detailed, you know, but the bottom layer is very low res because you can't access it. Now, Stalker 2, we can barely see it. There is like a few images from the trailers that we were able to see it, but they don't really help much. The only thing we really have is the Unbuilt Reactors 5, 6, I think. Yeah, the South Cooling Tower and the Fire Whirl. Now, I'm pretty sure that's all for the first two of the trilogy. Now let's talk about Pripyat. Now, the swamp, we could honestly pin that anywhere in Zaton. So this is actually Zaton. Let's actually turn on locations, make it easier for me to find stuff. The boiler anomaly is here, I think. Let's see. Yeah, the boiler anomaly, here it is. I haven't been able to see it at all. Here's the comparison. There's the boiler. There's it in S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2. Now, Dredge Station is near it, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's right there, the Dredger. It's called Dredge Station in the actual game. There is... Also, I want to apologize. I have another cold. The Skadovsk, which I'm pretty sure has been renamed to the Sultansk, because Sultan somehow took control of it. He strong-armed it. There's the Shevchenko. Let's actually take a look at that. It's a bit farther, but there's the Shevchenko. Fen, I have no clue what that is. The port cranes, which was actually the dock cranes in Pripyat. Then there's the ranger station. Where is it? Okay, here's the ranger station. Now, in between it, for some reason, there's the repair docks or something. Repair quay. Yeah, I don't know what that means. So the Stork Cave has been removed. The Stork Cave was originally right here at the southern plateau, but it's been moved. So let's see what else. The circus anomaly. Now it actually takes... It looks more realistic. It's more burnt, because circus anomaly in this game just looked like some weird gravitational anomaly. Let's see what else we can look at. Let's get out of that. Close that. Okay. Let's see what else is here. We don't want to go to the swamps yet. The old barge, which is Noah's barge. I haven't been able to see any gameplay of Noah. I don't know if he's still alive. I mean, he could die. You could kill him. I remember my first playthrough when I played Call of Duty the first time. He shot at me, so I shot the shit out of him, thinking he was an enemy. But yeah. So here's a Kuchai. I don't know what that is. I'm not gonna look at the scar because we already looked at it earlier. It was moved somewhere else. A lot of Zaton was actually moved. So gas station. Okay, here's a good place to start. Okay, I don't know how to pronounce that. Sorry. Here's the claw anomaly and the gas station. So here's the gas station and the claw. Looks pretty interesting. Now, Izumrudnya. I'm pretty sure that means emerald. I might be wrong on that. Please, someone fact check me on that. That's this place right here. This is actually where you fight the Chimera with Ganta, I think. It was Ganta or Ganja, I don't remember. Let's look at what else there is. What's a shot? Fish farm. Hydrodynamics lab. Now, these are actually not... I don't think any of these are in Shadow of Chernobyl. These are all new locations, which is honestly kind of cool. We might want to look at the Wild Island because a bunch of the locations were moved. So, okay, the sawmill. Actually, didn't know it was here. This was the sawmill originally. This is where you find the basic tools for Cordon. This is it now. We can look at... I know there's the waste processing station. Now, let's look at it in Pripyat. Here it is. It seems that it's been flipped completely, which honestly does kind of make sense. You know, there's a whole swamp there. Might as well pump it over there. Scar anomalies there. Eastern Tunnel, Intercom Tower, Cage, Kapachi. Okay, this is perfect. Okay, Kapachi. I was actually thinking about this. Kapachi looks like this. I don't know if Kapachi... I'm pretty sure it is a real place. And it was a village that was completely demolished as an attempt to stop the radiation spread. So, Kapachi, this is that building where you snipe mercs. Yeah, it looks pretty similar. Daredevil path, that sounds cool. When I get the game, I'll hopefully be able to experience that. I do want to see what the cooling tower is, because I actually have no clue what this cooling tower is supposed to be. It might be in the Yanov area. Let's actually just look more at Call of Pripyat. The Iron Forest. Now, we don't get to see it at all. I'm assuming it's here. It's this whole area. This is the Iron Forest. I'm assuming it's just moved. So, I don't know what to say about that. Let's look at... I don't feel like looking for the substation. It's a pretty minor location. There's only hatchet there. I'm pretty sure we looked at almost everything. Let's just compare like the size of like the lakes. So here you go. This is that giant lake, I assume, and this is some of like the swamps. So there's that, and so I assume this is kind of just the lake has been flipped or mirrored. Yeah, because it's going this way instead, which is, I guess, it's kind of cool. One thing actually, let's go and deal with this now. We didn't look at the swamp. Now the swamp has, I think I did this in one of my things. The swamp has seemingly been like rotated, and I'm pretty sure just rotated. So yeah, it's been rotated where the best way to go off of it is the tools of tunnel. It goes that way, and Stalker 2 it goes up. So I guess it's a good way to think about it. Clear sky base, we can't really see it. On both my maps, you can't really see anything. There's burnt farmstead, there's the church. Apparently from what I've heard, the swamps is way more dangerous than clear sky, which is cool, but it's honestly strange. Now let's start with the cement factory. The cement factory has actually been completely moved to this whole region, and this is Duty's new base. So here, oh, the concrete forest. Oh, this is where the iron forest got moved. I think concrete forest. I assume it's the same. It probably is. Anyways, this is the cement factory, I think, is it? I don't know. I know it's really, really close to the unbuilt reactor. So I guess here it is. I'm pretty sure it's on bases. Yep. Cement factory. Okay. It's occupied by Duty. This is what it looked like. Called Pripyat. This is what it looks like in Stalker 2. Flood pain. What else is here? Hangar. Hell. Fantastic. What an amazing and only temporary warehouses. I don't think that has any significance. I was going to compare it to the container warehouses, but I don't think that's anything to do with it. Why are there so many of these? Oh no, never mind. I saw the same location. Now, the Fen or Plavny anomaly, I don't think it's in the game. I don't want to bother looking for it. I'll probably be looking forever. Crash drone, I honestly have no clue where that could be. Okay. Let's look at the Quarry and Yaniv. Now, they've been completely moved over to the Yaniv region. And the Quarry has been moved into the Red Forest, which is honestly kind of interesting. Honestly kind of makes sense, you know. The Quarry being at Yaniv didn't really make any sense at all, but it being in the Red Forest, like, you know, helping up with the cleanup effort, could make sense. So it's over here. That's the Quarry. This is what it originally was. So it was kind of just rotated to a completely different side. Here is Yaniv. Let's go take a look at Yaniv. Still the same. More trains, though. Here is the Spark Bunker, which was where Topol, which if you saw my last video, you know what that mission's about. Topol's bunker, if you actually do their whole quest later in the game, if you help them out completely, they will give you a bunch of things. They have a bunch of high-tech suits, and will tell you that they have created the S.T.A.L.K.E.R science team. And spoiler alert, S.T.A.L.K.E.R in Stalker 2 mentions that Topol actually died, like somehow, we don't know. But basically S.T.A.L.K.E.R took control, and I'm gonna be honest, me and a few of my friends have this opinion. We don't like S.T.A.L.K.E.R or Spark. They feel like they're kind of assholes, and I don't know. I don't expect it. Join the wagons. That actually sounds really interesting. If I get the game, I'll look at that. Now here is the offloading terminal. I'm pretty sure this is where that tornado anomaly is. It's one of the arch anomalies. It's a giant, never-ending tornado. It's honestly really cool. What else is here? SD cabin. Oh, I think this is the Fen or Plavny anomaly, which is right here. I might be able to show a clip of that if I can. I'll see. That'll be so much editing on my part, and I'm gonna hate myself later for bringing it up. Pripyat substation. I don't think it's the same substation in what's it called? Yaniv. We've looked at Jupiter. So here's Jupiter here. I don't think I need to show you that. Checkpoint, it's not really the same. This, I don't even think this is in S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2. I haven't seen it. I don't even know what it's supposed to be. So, I'm pretty sure that's all of Yaniv. So let's look at a bit of Pripyat. Let's just show locations because I'll actually probably be able to point them out just off of memory. Okay, never mind. We can just look at this. Here we have the bookstore, the department store with that weird anomaly under. I don't know if it's out there. Koslov Bakery. Let's just focus on the main locations. Zustri Canteen. Okay, yeah, this is the apartment complex, and in the game, this is where the canteen is in real life. This is the laundromat. This is that line you follow. School stadium. This actually was not in Call of Pripyat, so that I'm pretty sure this is this spot. Yeah, that's this spot or this spot. Where's the kindergarten? Okay, so that actually doesn't exist. Okay. Okay, yeah, I honestly have no clue. This is the hospital. Yeah, there's some more out of bounds stuff. Here's the river port with that one sniper. The vine anomalies around here. I'm pretty sure the volcano anomaly. I don't know where that is. It's that one basketball court. It might have been moved. I honestly don't know. But there's the kindergarten, Sunny Kindergarten. White House. Oh yeah, I've heard of that. I'm pretty sure all the diplomats or something they live there. There's the actual school. Pretty sure there's more schools. This is the KBO building. This is the service center. There was like a hairdresser department, an office building, stuff like that. I don't know how to explain it, but there's someone that can explain it way better than me. Here's the school, the music school, and Prometheus movie theater. There's the I'm an idiot. Policia Hotel. There's the Palace of Culture. I'm not going to pronounce that. God, no. The shopping mall. That actually wasn't in Call of Pripyat. Or any of them. I'm pretty sure it was just some weird bus stop. I never understood it. Apparently, the version used for Call of Pripyat was, for Shadow of Chernobyl was like a really early version of the map, and it was a really broken one. So they had like multiple better versions of the map, but they just didn't use them for some reason. They just kind of threw a new one in. So here we have the Ferris wheel, Olympia Cafe. I'm pretty sure that's where the Olympius, what's it called? Anomaly came from this little area. There's like an artifact deposit that anomaly calls the Olympic anomaly or something like that. This one's Collider. Pretty sure that's where it's got its name, but yeah, we can see. We don't really see the stadium. The stadium's over here, so we can't actually know. Pretty sure this is where the bumper cart is. I don't know where it is. I've never checked in real life. I'm pretty sure that's it for the map. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. Okay. I guess I could spend the rest of this just kind of skimming through the map, looking at little cool things. Let's see what we can look at. Because you're basically exploring this with me. If you haven't played S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2 and can't afford it, I'm in the same boat with you as I'm making this video. So, let's just take a look at stuff. So here is, I actually kind of recognize all locations, so let's turn this off. Here's the poppy field, in case you're wondering what that looks like. I'll give you guys a little lore from everything I've heard. This is Malachite. This is like another scientific team that's apparently more split off from S.T.A.L.K.E.R and kind of works with stalkers more, from what I've heard, but I don't know if that's true. I want to know what this is. It's called like a mirror complex. I have no clue what it is. Or this place. I have no clue what any of these are. I have no clue what Malachite's about. I just know that apparently they're like really buddy-buddy with Spark. Anyways, Burnt Forest, pretty cool. There's a weird anomaly over here, right here, called the Mist. I've never seen it, so it'd be pretty interesting to see what it's about. Let's look at S.T.A.L.K.E.R. S.T.A.L.K.E.R looks pretty interesting. I don't think you can access this, but it looks really cool. I'm pretty sure that's unfinished right there, or it's just trees overgrown, but it looks cool nonetheless. We can actually see there's this weird border here. I don't know why they wouldn't just build it all around. Maybe it's a body of water, they wouldn't care. There's a bridge. I'm pretty sure this is a nod to that Pripyat bridge map that was cut from Clear Sky but I don't know. I couldn't give an explanation. I don't know any of this. Let's see what else we can look at. There's the Fire World. Honestly, one of the best arch anomalies. It's so badass. It's really cool. Okay. There's the Red Fortress. I'm pretty sure this was also another kind of cut location, because you could go to the outside of it, but you can't go inside of it. This is where that one trailer happened with that mysterious figure that we didn't know about, that we assumed was S.T.A.L.K.E.R and actually was. From what I heard, apparently he was his own character or something. I might be wrong with this, but he was apparently his own character. But when the stuff with the war in Ukraine started kicking off, they decided to stop hiring their, Russian voice actors, which is that they have the right to do that, So we don't know if he's actually going to be a character. I don't know. Also, there's a little train car here, I think, and probably here. I don't know. All I know is that in this area, you could actually find Father Valerian, the original leader for the Stalkers in Clear Sky, which is really cool. I think I do want to talk about some of the outside of the map. I'm not going to say too much, because I learned this mainly through leaks, and I don't want GSC to be, bombarded or have I don't want to spoil a lot of their surprises. All I'm going to say is that we know that there's a cold area of the zone, like a winter area. We know that the zone is kind of messing around with seasons. So Zalisya is like spring, as you can assume. There's an area of the map, I'm not going to say the name of it, but there's an area over here that might be a little dry, a little sandy. That's all I'm going to say. Wow, there's actually a lot of terrain here. Apparently it's all like just foliage from what I've heard. And this area, from what we know, is going to be, I'm not going to say the name of it, but we know it's going to be a very cold and winter area. And something we actually saw in the original versions, like the original map that was shown to us, like the hand-drawn map, is that there was a weird whale drawing here, meaning that there might be a giant mutant, like a new arch anomaly involving a mutant, which honestly would be really cool. But, with this huge body of water, maybe there'll be some way for us to interact with this body of water, but it's highly radioactive, so I'd honestly doubt it. I don't think it's gonna happen. Maybe they might incorporate more of the actual Pripyat river, because in real life the river goes all throughout here, then it goes a bit down here. So I think they're gonna incorporate that into it. Another thing I want to note, that Limansk is a very dangerous place from what we've seen so far. There's a signal you could actually find at the bridge of what's going on in Limansk, and it's just a bunch of shrieks of horror. So all we know is that it's a really dangerous place and nobody wants to go there, but a few people are actually curious. There are stalkers that were mentioned. They wonder what's going on over there. God, this cold is killing me. Anyways, another thing I want to mention is this was an area that was actually kind of cut. Behind the Duga array, there's an area which I'm pretty sure was supposed to have another village. I think it started with a K. And it was supposed to be around here. I don't know if GSC will expand the map anyhow, but anything could happen. GSC, they're trying their best. They've been rolling all these patches out, which no game dev honestly does. GSC has been able to manage all this, keep the game on top, while also being in the middle of a war. I'm pretty sure a few of their developers actually died in it, which is it's the perseverance through all this is insane. So props to GSC on creating a 64-kilometer map in the middle of a war with struggles of economic stuff. So that's crazy. The last few things I want to end this video off is that GSC puts a lot of work into these maps, and a lot of these. There's someone that designs and draws all these maps, and they base it off real drawings. Even in the other maps, you can see called Pripyat, we actually know that these are actually real images from 2003, I think. or something of the actual map, and they actually edited it into the game. So, you know, they put a lot of effort to it. So, and I haven't really been seeing anyone paying much attention to like all these details. I remember I was one of the first few people on the subreddit to be focused on like making the map. So, you know, it's always good for us to just look at and explore these little details. You know, just looking at this area, like imagine you're like looking through a satellite, or you're in another hemisphere and the zone's going on, and you're just looking to, and you're just wondering what's going on over there, what kind of base is over here, stuff like that. I wonder what kind of anomalies are here. Just little things like that. I'm pretty sure that there's a little guy in GSC who's in his little cubicle, he's working all day, and he's making all these, and he's just like, you know what, I'm gonna put stuff here, and I know no one's gonna probably see it, but maybe there's a chance that someone will talk about it. Maybe they'll just, you know, appreciate it. And I feel like we kind of don't do that anymore when it comes to video games. We kind of just ignore stuff. So I feel like something we need to do more. And to end off with that, I want to say thank you for watching. My channel's been blowing up a bit recently, which I'm honestly really grateful for. I'm not really used to this attention, and I'm in a really busy like stage of my life. So I just want to say thank you. I did not expect, you know, my yapology and stalker lore and stuff to blow up. So I really appreciate you all of you guys. I see all the support you guys say in the comments. I reply to all of it. It warms my heart. So I just want to let you guys know, thank you for watching so much. Please, if you can, share this around. You know, it only motivates me to make more videos like this. I'm not a good speaker by any means. I'm a good public speaker, but when it comes to speaking into mics and stuff, it's really hard for me. So I'm really trying my best. So thank you guys so much for all the support. That's all.